Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 2 in this series, WFZ versus 120. WFZ this time spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, meanwhile 120 spawning on the top right. This is going to be Echo Isle game number 2, and if you guys have not seen game number 1, that game was pretty much a mirror match in every instance. And it really was going to come down to who was able to execute better, keep their units alive longer, and be able to escape with their units as well. And well, the victor obviously did that. If you guys haven't watched game number 1, I do definitely ask you to check it out, as we are now getting underway in game number 2. Altar of Darkness getting completed at the 1 minute 46 second mark, hence the very late start to opening heroes. And we'll see what gets underway here, as the game should started at around the customary 2 minute 45 second mark, as opposed to the standard 2 minute mark in most games. All right, Death Coil does go down on an Ogre Warrior. Death Knight now up in the front lines already. Early Death Coil coming in from 120 in order to take down a couple of Izzy units. Meanwhile, the Death Knight off over here doing a very aggressive creeping onto the Ogre Warrior creep camp, Ogre Magi creep camp, that is in the center, right next to the Goblin Marketplace. All right, Tome of Intelligence was picked up there. 270 mana versus 285, but there is a Circlet of Nobility there. So yeah, that was a difference there, as we are now looking at an Ogre Magi. Oh, Death Coil steal by 120. And that long distance experience steal may be all it takes to really win out in these early fights. A beautiful turnaround right there. 274 experience compared to only 60. The Death Knight did pick up that Scroll of the Beast, which is valuable, but right now the additional bonus speed, additional health regeneration from that Unholy Aura may be the bigger point. Death Knight now going to go ahead and engage Death Coil onto a skeletal minion to keep him alive, as we are now running and pressuring inside this Acolyte haunted gold mine. They are all sitting stationary right outside. That is actually the worst place that you can ever actually see it. Meanwhile, the Death Knight could have perhaps try and use some additional Rod of Necromancy charges from his opponent's graveyard, but that doesn't end up being the case there. Plenty of Acolytes there ready to go. As there goes a Crypt Fiend, a second, or I believe that is the second Crypt Fiend to fall for WFZ. WFZ already in a bit of trouble, as 120 now looking to get to level 3. And if he can get to level 3 before his opponent can even reach level 2, that difference may just be far too much, as the Ogre Magi does fall down, picks up a second Circlet of Nobility, and they are now running away back across the center. Skeletal minions pretty much getting dissolved right there. Only 4 of them left, and those skeletal minions may end up getting taken down here in just a second. Ensnare now coming into play. That is actually a little bit of an unlucky break by 120, as we're now looking at as an engagement here. All right, one Nerubian Tower. Ghouls are already in position, and wow, those ghouls now trying to rush on in right here. You can see that the Death Knight may be able to get in a Death Coil onto his units, almost level 3, but he really wants to save it for when the Death Knight does get to level 3. Those Death Coils heal at 400 hit points, and if those units do end up, or if the Death Knight does end up getting to that high of a state, he is going to be in a very good spot already. And it looks like, yeah, that will be the case. There is level 3, and maybe able to even finish off. Oh, there's a Death Coil to save. There goes one, and I believe one more unit from WFZ will get taken down. Double Circlets of Nobility, already up to 200 and pretty much 35 mana already, with a maximum of 360. As long as he doesn't use those Death Coils too readily, he'll always have the ability to heal for 400 hit points, as now we finally have WFZ getting to level 2. That Unholy Aura is going to be a little bit late. Meanwhile, the Crypt Fiend's able to steal a bit of gold there. Death Knight now sitting at, getting a little bit of that, more of that experience early on, as we are going to be looking at Black Citadel already being upgraded with Altar of Darkness now grabbing that Lich. No tech to Black Citadel as of yet coming in from WFZ. 120 is just in dominant control of the pacing of this game. If he can translate that into an army victory or a couple of key battles and units, that will pretty much be the rest of it, as the Death Knight may be able to even consider getting to level 4 if it tried to take down these Forest Troll Berserkers. No, not going to be the case. Now heading back over here to the top left. All right. Are we going to see a couple of Huntsmen get taken down? There is an ensnare right there. There is some engagement. As you can see, Crypt Fiends are going to take a lot of damage here. And I do like this play by 120, purposely making sure that if his opponent does try and creepjack him, not too much is going to be happening here, as the creeps will actually be between him and his opponents in most situations. Lich now joining in on the fight here. Crypt Fiend now joining in as well. We may see a couple of death coils to try and save everything here in just a moment. There goes one. There goes another. And there may be one more here in just a second. All right. Making its way back down. Are we perhaps going to take down the Goblin Merchant Shop, or are we going to go back and defend? Skeletal Minions already in position, trying to rush this position here. Obsidian Statue not yet quite out. Ghouls, there's not quite enough of them. And are we going to see a Scroll of Town Portal? Yes, we are. Scroll of Town Portal landing straight up on the Death Knight. Death Knight gets completely blocked in, and that is going to be a Scroll of Town Portal trade right there, as the Death Knight may be forced to not even have to use a Death Coil to try and save his unit at all. Beautifully done right there, as a couple of skeletal minions are in the back, but they will easily get cleaned up by 120's remaining forces. Death Knight now joining back in on the fight. We may be trying to move over here to this mercenary camp, as we see the Lich now ready to go with +6 intelligence off of 3 circlets of nobility. The Lich just looking very, very strong right there, +11 damage, and that's got to be a Lich you do not want to be next to. The Lich having very monstrous stats at that point, and also once that Lich does in fact get Dark Ritual, should be able to sacrifice skeletal minions for Frost Novas all game long. All right, there it goes, picking up a Ring of Regeneration as well. That may be given to the Death Knight. Normally, the Death Knight does have some problems with hit points. Giving him an additional +2 hit point a second regeneration allows him to stick around in those front battle situations just a little while longer, as the Lich still going to be shy of level 3 after this creep cap. Actually, wait. No, he'll actually get there. All right, the Death Knight was not nearby, hence why the Lich will be able to get to level 3. Death Knight is actually down off over here and should be able to finish off this Forest Troll Berserker, purposely splitting up your units so they are not together. Very, very nicely done. And I must say, Circlets of Nobility, when used in conjunction like this, very strong. It's like he has a Boots of Quel'Thalas, Robe of Magi, and oh my goodness, I forgot, a Belt of Giant Strength, all on the same hero, taking up 3 slots, +6, +6, +6. One of those 3 items are perhaps some of the best in the game, as the Death Knight now doing a little bit of chasing right here. All right, are we perhaps going to see a little bit of slow? No, we are not. Lich now making its way back down, almost up to 480 mana already, as the Dark Ranger now looking to retreat and perhaps clear out a relatively easy creep camp, as the Death Knight really wants to get to level 4, perhaps even getting level 2 Unholy Aura. And there goes some units. There you have it. All right, Dark Ranger off over here. We're going to be going into an engagement here. Take some damage down. All right, turning back around here. What's going to be happening next? Death Knight, I'm taking a lot of damage here. What's really unfolding? Not quite sure. The Death Knight now wandering back to the top right. Death Knight now continuing to fight, and now still fighting off over here. Crypt Fiends and Skeletal Minions in that front line, but one Destroyer already out by 120. WFZ not ready for the Destroyer just quite yet. Devour Magic completely took out a lot of the Skeletal Minions, and there is now the attack there. There goes a Death Coil, and it was just in time, as the Destroyer is still trying to chase after some of those units. No web in order to focus down this one Destroyer, so this Destroyer is going to have some easy damage there, as Crypt Fiends are now falling falling on both sides. Death Knight now being forced to pull back here. Will he be able to get off a Death Coil? Yes, there's a Death Coil saving up one unit there. Frost Nova now going down. Is this? No, he's not going to be able to make it. Death Coil coming off over here. WFZ doing a pretty good job, but no, now he's losing a couple of units there as I see another Devour Magic. That Destroyer having so much mana as it is going to be able to start perhaps looking to focus down. Wait, that's WFZ's Destroyer. WFZ's Destroyer has mana, and if you can focus down perhaps another Destroyer or Obsidian Statue with that heavy armor, it does tend to melt away rather quickly. All right, Destroyer currently up in the air right now. Destroyer off, ready to go. Back off over here. Death Knight quickly selling a Night on, picking up Dust of Appearance. Where is he going to be traveling to next? No real way of healing. Did he sell his Ring of Regeneration? That's something I never quite understand. I always personally like Rings of Regeneration. This Death Knight would pretty much be back up to full hit points by now. As you see, a Tome of Experience will be dropped for the Dark Ranger, I believe. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and take a look at this fight here. All right, are we going to get into a silence? Death Knight right there. All right, Death Coil does save a unit there as the Crypt Fiend may decide to back off. No, Destroyer now webbed down by both sides as damage is just flooding in on both sides. All right, Focus Fire. There goes a Dark Ritual to take down another unit as we're still looking to fight. And it looks like WFZ is going to be in full retreat once more. There goes a Destroyer, and that is going to be the game. 122-0 WFZ in this best of 3. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.